Happy Halloween, everybody. How you doing? My name's Allison, and this is my channel, Green Goddess Plant Seeds and Stitching. And welcome to another Flosstube. So this is my channel where I share my adventures in cross stitch and crafting as well as gardening. So welcome if you're new. So it's well, I'm back home in Saskatoon. This is my place in Saskatoon. In the living room instead of my kitchen. My house is a little bit of a shared space. Glenn's oldest child is living in the house while I'm at the farm, kind of thing. So, but I do come home basically weekly for a couple of days, usually to get supplies, baking supplies from Bulk Barn and that. So I'm kind of back and forth all the time. But anyway, welcome. Today is the 30th of October. So one more day, the day before Halloween. So I'm excited. I used to love Halloween growing up. Even in my teenage years, in my early 20s, I loved Halloween. I still carve a real pumpkin. I have 3 real pumpkins sitting in the kitchen waiting to be carved up. Although the older I get, the harder that is to do because my hands are really starting to become arthritic. So, but what I've started doing though with the carving of the pumpkins is I'll clean them out. Like I'll probably do that tonight, and then tomorrow I'll carve the faces on them, and that way it breaks up that activity a little bit, and my hands don't hurt quite so much. But anyway, welcome. Yeah, so it's been a long month. October felt like a long month, but it's also flown right by. Kind of exciting in a way. October was my birthday month, so my birthday was a couple weeks ago on the 15th. It's also my Flosstube anniversary. So 1 year ago, I started my Flosstubes. So that's kind of exciting too. I've had my channel for a while, for about 2 or 3 years, but I was doing just gardening videos. And I started mainly to kind of keep track or keep a record of what we're doing on the farm with the market garden. And then it just, the videos would dry up in the wintertime because there's nothing to do, nothing really to talk about. And then I went down this rabbit hole that is Flosstube and said, hey, I could probably do that. maybe I'll try that. And then it's just kind of morphed, and it's allowed me to have more content on my channel and keep my channel more active. So it's been kind of nice. So thank you to everyone who has stopped by and watched my videos and liked and subscribed. Thank you so much. And so this is, this is me. So let's get at it. I've got a finish and a couple of new starts to talk about today, so let's just get into it. So I will start with my finish, and I will apologize in advance. My chair is a bit squeaky. I've tried fixing it and I can't seem to get the right spot, so it still squeaks. So sorry about it. I apologize for that. So yeah, my finish that I've got is the small pumpkin mug. I should have had a piece of paper here. Put behind it here. No, I tried to be more organized this time, but still not quite there yet. So yeah, so I started this at the beginning of the month. Part of the pumpkin birthday sale, I was doing that. So this is the small pumpkin mug from Shannon Christine, and this was a free pattern that can be found on her Facebook page. And I'm not sure if it's once a month or a couple of times a month. She will post a free pattern on her Facebook. And all you have to do is save the image to your laptop or to do a screenshot on your whatever your device is, and away you go. So yeah, I had another one that I wanted to do but never got around to doing it, but that's okay. So my plans for this is just to turn it into an ornament, and this was done with just DMC on a piece of 14 count Ada that I dyed myself. I thought that was so cute. It took me a while to figure out what this little motif was. I thought it was like a flower. Is that a flower? What is that? But when you pull it back and you look at it, it's a piece of candy. It took me a while. Sometimes you see something and you don't quite have the right perspective, and it looks kind of weird, and they're like, oh, and then finally it clues in. That's what that is. So that's my finish. Very happy with it. Very excited. So. Okay, next up for my whips. So this is called Haunted Happenings, and it's out of the 2023 edition of Just Cross Stitch. And so this is what it's supposed to look like. And this is where I've got to. So I got the house all outlined, the haunted house completely outlined. I think for the most part it's outlined. Yeah, it's all outlined. And then I've been working on the tree and started filling in the house. So some decent progress. Kind of happy with it. So my plan for this is I think I might change up a little bit of the color, like underneath the tree, like some roots that go down here. And all of this was supposed to be kind of outlined with this purple. But I think in this area under the tree, I might use a green or something. That's my plan for it. So like there's the original. So you can see where it uses all that purple in there. I might just use a bit of green under that. And same with under the pumpkin. Sorry for the glare. Just put a little bit of green under there. I might just make it pop a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'll do the border or not. I'm still thinking about that, but I have time to decide. This is probably not going to get done this year. It's probably going to be, you know, next year's finish or something. But that is Haunted Happenings. And oh, that was designed by Cari Busiak too. Put that away. There we go. Next up is, where did my page go? Next up is Trick or Treat by Margaret, and this is a Bothy Threads kit, so that's what it's supposed to look like. And this is done on 14 count Misty Blue Ada by Zweigart. It doesn't give a stitch size. It just says the design, or the finished design size is 29 centimeters by 24 centimeters. So, and of course, Bothy Threads, they use Madeira floss for this. Here instead. And this is where I've got to. So I didn't get as much done on this as I would have liked. But I did get some stitches in, so I'm basically working. I did some more fill-in here, some background fill-in, and then I actually started on the character. This is a cat with a witch's hat, so I started on that character. So all that in there is new stitching. And I believe, I wrote my numbers down, Trick or Treat, I put in 487 stitches since the last time you saw that, so. Yeah, this will probably take a few years to finish, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, I also finished the hedgehog. His paw there still needed to be filled in, so I filled that in as well. So that is Trick or Treat by Margaret. There we go. We've had some interesting weather. We've had rain, and I've been here in Saskatoon. We had some really, really horrible gusty winds last night, and out at the farm, they had snow. Glenn's not happy that he had snow. But it's the time of year, you know, as a kid growing up, Halloween was always, there's always snow on the ground for Halloween. You know, you always had, you know, wear your winter parka over your costume kind of thing. That was standard. That was normal. Nowadays, you know, we're not getting that snow as early. So, I don't know. That's a mixed bag, right? You know, climate, you know, the weather patterns are changing, whether that's good or bad, you know, whatever. But yeah, I distinctly remember, I remember there blizzards being blown in on my birthday. You know, where there's like 3 feet of snow on the ground for my birthday, but what do you do, right? Okay, so next up is the Houses of Pumpkin Lane, and I am working on Pumpkin House. So this is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitching, And that's what it's supposed to look like. And that's where I'm at. So since last time I showed this, I've been working on the house. So I've been working on this beautiful, beautiful house, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving this. This has got to be one of my favorite stitches. One of my favorite projects. I find it really hard to put it down. I'm loving how everything is just kind of comes out. You stitch it, and then it's like, oh, it's there, and it's just beautiful. I'm just loving. I'm loving the colors. Very wonderful, rich autumn colors. Yeah, and so this one, since the last time I showed it, I put in 827 stitches. So that is looking absolutely fantastic. I love these squirrels down here, and the little blackbird, the crow on the top of the house. That's just so sweet. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one and getting on to the next house. There's 9 houses in the series. So I'm looking forward to just continuing to work on it. I'm doing it as one big piece rather than as a pillow. Although I am tempted to stitch this again and stitch it into a pillow or something, because I absolutely love this. This is just fantastic. So that is Pumpkin House, the Houses of Pumpkin Lane. There we go. Okay, so I think that was all of my whips. So I have a couple of new starts. So I was doing the pumpkin birthday sal. That was started by the Stitchery by the Shore. And so one of my new starts for that, I should have taken this out of my bag and I didn't. Sorry about that. I actually started Harvest Tricksters. So this is by MomaLovesYouGB. And I'm clearly not as organized as I should have been. One of these days I'll have everything all together and everything laid out exactly the way I want it. And now I can't get this out. It's not the page I was looking for. I was looking for the page with little stats on it. Oh goodness. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So this is by MomaLovesYouGB. Where is the stitch? Okay, it would help if I had, could read. So Harvest Tricksters by MomaLovesYouGB. Stitch count is 82 by 114. All right, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Let's put that aside, and this is where I'm at. So I'm using a 14 count Aida that I just bought from Michael's Craft Store. It's a printed Aida, so that's the label off of it. That's what I'm using, and this is where I'm at. There we go. This is another one that I'm actually really enjoying. I'm really enjoying seeing each little motif come out. I'm loving how this pumpkin is starting to form up. And this one, I think I put in 200 stitches in this, or maybe a little bit slightly over 200 stitches. So yes, this is probably another one that's going to be hard to put down, because I'm loving seeing how it develops and how things come out as you stitch them. It's just, yeah, I'm just really loving that. Yeah, that's fun. So that was my first new start. Try and put this away so it's organized. All right, so my second new start was my birthday start. So my birthday was a couple weeks ago on the 15th, and I hemmed and hawed and decided, wasn't sure, do I want to start something new? Do I really need a new start? Yeah, don't know. I was just like really torn between starting something new and maybe working on a favorite project or something. So what I decided to do in the end was start a new project, but rather than a holiday or like a Halloween or a fall project, I decided to go with a Christmas project. And so what I decided to start is a Dickens Christmas Carol by Twin Peak Primiives. And so this is, it is 390 stitches by 440, sorry. 339 by 440. And this is what it's supposed to look like. I love the story of A Christmas Carol. It is like my favorite Christmas story. You know, it falls in line with that Victorian tradition of telling ghost stories at Christmas. Not that I'm really into ghost stories at Christmas time, but you know, whatever. It's just, there's just something about that story that I absolutely love. So this is my start. So there's a lot of border stitching. Like there's 3 layers to the border. Like there's a border that goes like all the way, like this outer one goes all the way down and across the whole thing. And then each motif has its own border. So that was just, so yeah, so that's my start. And I put in 957 stitches on that. And that first motif, basically, well, it says Marley was dead. And it says Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt about that. No doubt whatever about that. So that's this motif in here. So that's what I'm working on. This is another one that I'm absolutely loving. You know, I don't know. I think it's maybe it's the sampler style that I'm really starting to get into. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I'm just loving the way everything is just how it, you know, you stitch it and then it just kind of magically transforms into something. It's like, oh, that looks really cool. You know, you stitch each stitch and then all of a sudden you've got words, you know, and you've got this beautiful border. So it's really kind of cool. The only thing I might change though, about this is, this center part. It's like, it's in the same, thread color as the border. And it seems to just, to me, it just kind of washes out. It doesn't, stand out as much. And like the fabric I'm stitching on, it's a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself. But I'm thinking for this part that says A Christmas Carol, I might change it. I might change it and just pick a darker color. There is a darker, almost like a darker plum color that's called for. I might use that to stitch just this part that says A Christmas Carol, and the rest can be in the gold. That's the same as the border. I just want that to stand out a little bit more than what it does. So that might be the only thing that I might change in this. The rest of it I'll probably leave. Although I was debating on whether or not, because at the bottom of each one, it's kind of says who it is. Like that says Bob Cratchit. You know, there's the, you know, Ghost of Marley, Tiny Tim. I'm not sure if I'll actually put in that part. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I mean, in some ways you do kind of need it, so you kind of know what you're looking at, but I don't know. I haven't decided what I will do with that just yet. So I'll probably in the end just end up putting that lettering in anyway, but we'll see. So that's my birthday start that I'm so excited about. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm sort of starting to shift gears with my stitching. Let's put some of this stuff away, out of the way so I don't knock it over. So yeah, I've been, so if you are new to my channel, like I've only been doing Flosstube for a year. A little bit about me is that I've only been stitching, I've only been doing cross stitch since 2022, sorry. I'm in my mind with the numbers. So 2022 was when I started cross stitching. So it's only been 3 years, and I'm still kind of finding what it is that I enjoy stitching on. And it's been kind of a curious journey, an interesting journey. There's some that I'm absolutely loving, obviously, and then others that I haven't worked on in a while. It's like, I'm not sure if I feel like working on that. a little more of a chore. But I'm just wondering, like the pumpkin house thing. That's the first sort of sampler style or primitive sampler style piece that I've really done like that. So I'm just wondering, maybe it's that. Maybe I've come across something that I'm actually really enjoying that I never thought I would enjoy. Like when I was first started, I was looking at all these patterns online and different designers. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that primitive style. I don't know if I like the sampler style with all the letters and the alphabets. I'm still not sure that I like those types with the alphabets. I don't know if I like that. But I am liking like the pumpkin house, and I am liking the Dickens Christmas one. And maybe because it's not just, an alphabet. It is words, but it's not necessarily just an alphabet. So it's been an interesting journey in discovering what I like. And I'm trying to try different styles and different designers and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a wonderful journey. It's been, like I said, it's been a wonderful rabbit hole to have fallen into. So in terms of plans, so like I said, where I was going with this was, I'm kind of finding that I am a bit more of a seasonal stitcher. Like right now, the autumn stuff is kind of cool, but I'm actually slowly starting to switch into Christmas. I do have a couple of Christmas projects I started last December that I'm going to pull out and work on those. I might try and do a couple of ornaments. I know there were some stitchers that were sort of had a bit of a goal of making ornaments throughout the year so that they had them in time for Christmas, which is actually a good idea. I think I might try and do that for 2026. Maybe not for the whole year, but at least try and get a couple of them made up ahead of time, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been a kind of a cool journey. I'm switching gears into the seasonal stitching now. And come January, I'll probably have a little more time to do some finishing. I'm not sure exactly how I will do a final finish in some things, but I might figure something out that I can do. But yeah, it's been a wonderful autumn season. We're still going strong with autumn. Autumn's not over yet. And like I said, we still have lots of leaves while it's been raining. And like I said, Glenn had snow at the farm. We haven't had snow here in the city yet, so fingers crossed we don't get any for a while. Yeah. In terms of the rest of my life, or what's going on, like we've switched gears from the farmers markets. The farmers markets are done. The garden is done. I'm still hoping we can get our garlic in the ground because we never did get it in the ground. And with the snow, that might be pushing the boundaries. We might have to see about that maybe next week of trying to, hopefully the ground's not frozen solid and we can still get that garlic in. We have to. We have to get the garlic in. But we are switching gears, and so instead of the farmers markets, we are switching to like the weekend vendor shows, craft shows, Christmas craft shows, fall craft shows. And that's a whole ball game. It's so funny because there's almost like a circuit, and everywhere we go, we often see the same people setting up at all these different markets because there is a bit of a little circuit where people go. So that's what we're switching to, is to those weekend markets. Glenn's been furiously trying to make stuff. We were so depleted in terms of our preserves and jams and jellies that I think we had maybe 3 dozen jars, and that was it. That's all we had left after the farmers markets. Like he was just he had no time to make anything during harvest because he was harvesting. And then I was trying to finish off the garden, so there was just no time. So right now he's busy. He's, you know, pulling all-nighters. He's getting up at like 4, you know, trying to get some jams made, because that's the only time of day that he can actually get stuff done. Because it's like as soon as 9 o'clock hits, his phone starts going off with people trying to talk to him, wanting stuff from him, you name it. So, and then usually by afternoon he's got to go off and run errands and whatever. So yeah, so he's been making stuff like crazy. I've been making fruit cakes. We've got our fruit cakes are made. I think I have one more round of cakes that I want to make of both light and dark, and then that'll be done. Because they do have to sit and they have to kind of age or ripen or cure if you want. We pour a little bit of either rum or brandy on them about once a week or so, once every 10 days. So I've got a light fruit cake, which gets the brandy, and a dark fruit cake, which gets the rum. So the dark fruit cake is new this year. That's and we're using Glenn's mother's recipe for that. And we've already had people not only place an order for the dark cake, they've already paid for their order. so that's a good thing. I never would have thought fruitcake would be popular, but it is. It's coming back into fashion, and people are looking for it and they're wanting it, and especially if it's made well, and it has a nice flavor, and it's not dry. It's moist, not dry, and I think no icing. I think lots of people get turned off by that royal icing that sometimes you see is on it, and that's just no. We don't do that. We don't do that up with ours. We just wrap it. And some cellophane, some shrink wrap or whatever, and then we put a nice decorative ribbon on it and a label, and sometimes it just flies off the table. So that's good. So that's what we've been working on. We've got markets just about every weekend now, straight through to literally just before Christmas. I think our last market is in North Battleford at the Western Development Museum, and I think it's the 19th and 20th of December. So hopefully we'll still have stuff. I think we'll have to meter out the fruitcake, so we've got some to take to all of the markets. And the market that's coming up is this coming weekend on the 2nd of November, and we are in Lloydminster at a home business expo type of thing, and it's at the casino there in Lloydminster. So yes, it does not stop until January. and then we can breathe a sigh of relief. But I'm trying to encourage Glenn that's when he needs to be making stuff. He needs to be making stuff like crazy in January, so that we've got some inventory built up before the whole market season starts up again. Anyway, the only things I have not stitched on this past month were my Fox and Rabbit and my Witch's Hollow. Now, Witch's Hollow I do have here. So my plan is to work on this the rest of today and tomorrow, which is Halloween. So this will get some love today. But my Fox and Rabbit stitch along, I haven't worked on it. Usually I kind of reserve the last few days of the month for that, but it just didn't work out this year or this month. So I'm thinking I might start November with that instead. Give that a few days of love there at the beginning of November, and then that way that'll carry it through. And I was just realizing it just earlier today that there's actually only 2 more installments for that. Even though I'm behind, there's actually only 2 more installments for the pattern. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And frightening in a way that the year has gone by so fast. Oh my goodness. It's just unreal how fast the year has gone. But then when you're so busy, when you're so stupid busy, time just flies right by. So anyway, so that is all of my Flosstube updates. Nothing horribly exciting, but yeah. Oh, and I did want to mention that I did register for Jingle Ball. I just bought a general admission ticket. I haven't signed up for any classes, at least not yet. I'd like to, but we'll see how that goes. I was thinking of the Jeanette Douglas class and or the Stacey Nash one, but we'll see. Because I know like I said, we've got markets every single weekend, so I don't know how much time I'll be able to spend at the Jingle Ball. Maybe in the evenings I'm able to pop on there or something. But yeah, we'll see. So I do hope to see some of you there. Please say hello. Like I said, my name's Allison. Probably on the Jingle Ball site, I'll be Alice. I'll have my first name and last name, so it's Allison Williams. So if you're looking for me, you know, by all means, wave hello. So yeah, I think that's all of my updates, I guess. Kind of probably a little bit shorter. Well, all my floss tubes are short, so I don't have that gift of gab, I guess. I don't know. I just wasn't blessed with that. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for joining me, for sharing your journey and allowing me to share my journey with you and share with you what I'm working on. Like I said, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. And to everyone who has already subscribed, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween, a wonderful, safe, and happy Halloween. The weekend's coming up. Have a great weekend. And yeah, until next time, take care.